All right, guys, I gotta tell you about this brake deal in the back. So the front went on just easy. 03 Cobra swap, 99 through 04 spindles. 94 through 04 might work, but I'm not sure. But 99 through 04 spindle went right on. Still waiting on the spacer, but I did order new struts for the front just because that one over there is kind of leaking and they're scratched up. But yeah, fronts went easy, swapped it, no problem. Rears, I don't know what this guy sold me. He said there's a 99 or an 03 Cobra conversion all the way around, but it's not. The rotors, I don't even know what these are for. This is a 03 Cobra rear rotor, and this is what I got. You can see everything about it's different. It's bigger. It looks like a front rotor to something by judging it. But anyways, calipers don't work either. So if you bring this back here, this is the kit that he sold me. I've learned a lot from this little spiel. So I bought the conversion kit for 0304 cold brakes. Try to bolt that on, it rubs the caliper. It won't even get to the bolt holes. So the rotor's bigger. So then I learned that the GT and the Cobra rotor's like 0.4 inches bigger. It's tiny, just a little bit bigger. So then I mounted that up, bought 03 Cobra caliper brackets. And my buddy said that the calipers themselves are the same as the GT, so I had to go buy GT ones. So the brackets will just get thrown away because I don't need them. So the difference is just the height for the 0304. So now I did order drilled and slotted rears for the 0304 since all this cluster. I mocked them up with my old ones off my 12,000 mile car. But yeah, if you are ever doing the swap, the only difference in the rear for 03 Cobra is the rotor and the bracket, the caliper bracket. Calipers and the pads are the same. I think the pads are the same. So it's kind of weird. But I had to go through that because this thing's been, I've been fighting this for a while, a lot of research. So we're gonna get these painted up today. Make sure, we're gonna mock it up first. If everything clears, we're gonna paint the rotors again for the back, paint the brackets and the calipers. And then we might have rear brakes by the end of the day. All right guys, got the rear brakes on finally after all the struggles, got them painted. Got them on, new caliper kit. Well, it's new everything. So front and back are new now. Now I got to get the lines put on. So I got to take the shock back off to drill the holes because they bolt on there. And the new pads are so tight that I'm gonna have to like start the car and turn it. I can't even turn it over by hand. They're so tight. They were not fun to put on. Shouldn't take much though. But yeah, we're gonna loosen up the shocks and then drill the holes for the rubber hose that goes there to there, and then we'll run the lines. We do have it connected to the body now, so we have brakes to the rear end. So I'm gonna get those drilled and put on, and then we'll show you. There we go, got the shock off. And in case you guys didn't understand what I was telling you, so the caliper bolts to a rubber hose that bolts like this. So I marked the holes where I gotta drill. Some cut off this little knob there. I'm gonna drill a hole for it, and then the rubber bolts to the caliper. So right now we're gonna mount that up. I'm gonna drill it, mount it, and then I'll show you what it looks like. There's the final product. See how clean that looks? And the hardest part is trying to get the nut up in there I used a magnet. I work on cars a lot, so it wasn't too bad. But you can't take this off unless you want to take the spring out. So looks pretty good. Happy with it. And you can see it wraps around the shock so you don't get nothing there. Clears everything else. So there's one side. Now we gotta do this side. All right guys, got her all tapped out. There's the one side, here's the other. Turned out good. Brakes are on. It's a pretty easy job. I'm gonna go get new brake lines. I measured, I need 4 foot to go around there, to go there. It's a little extra, we might have to cut it and flare it. And then 1 foot should do that about right. So we're gonna go get some new lines now. And this is a pretty simple job. I did it, obviously I have a hoist, but I was painting a hood in there. So I was coming out here in between coats, doing a little bit of this, and it worked out good. So we're still waiting on the transmission. It's Friday again, so it's been a while. It's pretty much all we're waiting for now. The brakes will be tapped out. I don't have a proportioning valve yet, so I'm just gonna send it for now. As long as you're not racing or hitting your brakes hard, it should be fine. You needed a proportioning valve because you're not, drum brakes is like 1-to-1 in the back, I believe. I'm not sure, but all I know is you need one. So I ordered one, we're waiting on that. That's gonna go up front. So this is all tapped out back here pretty much. Then we're gonna go and tighten everything, but I like to tighten it when it's on the suspension on the ground, otherwise it might bind. So it's pretty much getting done. It's looking really good. So happy with how it's coming. So we're gonna go get those and grab something to eat. And there's the finished product. I tried to tuck it by the pumpkin the best I could. Looks pretty good. I bought new ones, but I got the wrong thread. I got metric instead of standard. So I reused the old ones. I just bent them straight and bent them back. But I'm happy with it. Looks good. Turned out awesome. So here's a little go through on how clean this thing is. Literally everything is either brand new or sandblasted, powder coated, including the gas tank. I left it galvanized. Straps are satin black or matte black. Floors POR 15 or POR 15, and then I went back and backmasked the subframes after we welded them in. Galvanized trans brace, cross member. Reused the K member, had it sandblasted, powder coated. Same with the sway bars that were on it. They're aftermarket, but we blasted them and powder coated them. Looks pretty good. These are a little scuffed up. This one leaks, so we literally bought new ones over here. So I'm about to install them. So they'll be brand new. And it's coming together. The front brakes are new. They just got corroded in the guy's garage. And then we custom painted those. Body color and then gloss black. New lines. So it's coming together. Still waiting on the transmission. I'm hoping he gets it done today. So, but I'm pretty happy about the brake lines because that's a tedious job. It's not very fun. It's kind of boring, but it turned out pretty good. All right guys, I got the new struts put on. They look good, no scratches now. And then they also have the shims, so it doesn't have play in it no more. And now all we have left is put the rack on, which Dan's still working on or waiting on parts or tools or something. And then the transmission. So everything's done now. It all looks good, it's all brand new. Literally everything's brand new. So once the trans comes, we'll throw that in and get her done. Well guys, we're back. It's a couple more days since then. I started to do the accessories. Waiting on a power steering. This is the bracket. I was gonna get a new one, but no one in town has one, so I gotta extract that bolt out. This pump worked fine. I'm just gonna clean it up. And finally, got the transmission back. Looks awesome. So we're gonna try to get that in today. Throw that on there, get the transmission in, and then we're moving. The rest of it will be quick now. So we're finally getting somewhere. So let's get that transmission in and go from there. There it is, guys. Got the trans all put together, ready to go in. Just got to throw the clutch arm on. Clear coated the bolts so they don't rust. And then the back ones I painted black so they don't rust. Turned out good. Same with the front ones up here. So it's coming together. It's almost done. Everything's looking really good. So get this trans in and go from there. Here we are, guys, getting it together. I don't like the gray look of these. If you have a Mustang, you know what I'm talking about. It's like a gray bare fiberglass. So we're gonna paint it black, but like kind of a matte black, not really a gloss, just a little bit of shine to it. So that'll look a lot better, get rid of the scratches too. So we're gonna spray this. Probably won't even be on the car very long. I'll probably do electric fans, but let's see how good this turns out. All right, it's all dry. Looks way better than that ugly tan color. So pretty happy with it. I scuffed it with red Scotch Brite if you guys want to do it at home. And painted it with trim paint. So it's good for plastic, soaks it in. So it doesn't really cover any imperfections, but I wasn't really worried about that since it's going to be on the radiator. So we'll get that mounted up and I'll show you guys how I got the transmission in the car. So we'll go look at that. All right, guys, a little walkthrough. See how clean it is. It's finally getting done. All I have left is to decide what I want to do for exhaust, which I'm thinking stainless and polishing it all the way up. But we're getting towards the end. Once we get the fan shroud on, the radiator, and the starter. Transmission turned out great. Shout out to you, Dan. I know it took a while for parts, but it turned out good. Then we have to put the mount on, shifter. Yeah, looks pretty good now. Pretty happy. But that's where we're at now. I'm about to go home. The fair's in town. We're gonna bring my daughter out there. Go have some fun. Everything looks pretty dang good. Well, as clean as you can get. So bolt the wheels on and it's coming along. Let's keep moving. All right, guys, I haven't filmed much. I just started throwing together stuff on, but we all know how to install a radiator, fan shroud, and coolant hoses, so it's not like I missed anything. I did end up buying a new power steering reservoir. We just got to tighten it back on because one bolt was broken in the old one, and I didn't want to clean it. So these are only like 70 bucks at O'Reilly's. So we're gonna tighten that, get the hose on. I got a new hose too. Everything's pretty much new. Dan's not done with the rack. If I get to that point where I need a rack, I'm gonna pull it off one of my cars for now and just put it on there dirty, just so I can drive this thing again. I got all the wiring done there, and then this one used to go across, and now I put it through there. So I kind of hid that. So that's kind of where we're at right now. All right, guys, got the power steering all hooked up. We're about to get the belt fitted. What I do there is get an old belt. I don't have any really bad ones, but I have an old belt I'm not going to use anymore. I think I'm going to find a way to strap this down like that too. But anyways, I'm going to wrap the belt around, cut it, and then I'll cut it where it needs to be with the tensioner all the way down so we can tension the new belt. And then we'll just go to the parts store and have them match it up. But as for the motor, I got to order a breather, and that's about it. I got a PCV over here. It used to be on this side and he had a long hose, so I just moved it over there since the vacuum lines he had it in right there. But right now we got everything hooked up except the belt and the power steering, so we don't have a rack yet. I lowered it. I'm gonna push it back, put the console back together. I got the shifter in and it's dry. So we're gonna get the console in and then I'm gonna try to fire it. It should start right up. The alternator is not wired up right because this thing moved it over and the wires were tight to begin with, so they're really tight. So I'm just gonna unhook the alternator. It's not gonna be spinning anyway with no belt. And we're gonna try to fire it. There's no coolant in it, so I'm not gonna let it run very long, just see if it'll start. Every time you take a project apart like this, it should start right back up, but they never do. So I just wanna see if it'll fire, go through the gears and the trans, see if it moves. The brakes aren't bled at all. So that's another thing I have to do coming up. But it's coming together. And tonight I'm gonna leave it on its suspension because the lowering kit I bought isn't very low in the back. And the guy said that it's gotta settle. So I put half a tank of gas in it now. And it's still higher than I'd like in the back. So we're just gonna see if he's right about it settling. If not, I'm gonna buy a different brand. So we're gonna push it back. I'm gonna cut the belt quick and get that. And then we're gonna push back, see if it starts. All right guys, I got the battery hooked up. Not the right one, but it'll work, I think, once it's dead. First try, it's completely out of gas. So we'll give it that a minute and we'll see how it fires. Hopefully fire. Of course, battery's dead. Good old super start, you know, never starts. See, that will help. Hopefully that won't fly off. She works. I know how to put stuff together after I take it apart, I guess. Heck yeah, it won't idle because I took these off the back of the intake. Little vacuum things. They're all cracked if you look close, so they're leaking. So I'm gonna get new ones. So it's got pretty bad vacuum leaks, so that's why it won't idle. So we're gonna get new ones of those and a belt, and we know it starts. Well guys, celebrating that the Fox started and it's finally done. I'm gonna take the Terminator home. Haven't driven it in like a week. So we gotta pull that out to get that out. Otherwise it'll hit that, I think. Looking at it here, it might squeeze. Maybe I'll try to squeeze it. So it's been a long day, long week. I'm gonna drive my Terminator. It's not supposed to storm tonight. When I drive this one home, it's gotta sit outside. Otherwise I'd drive it more. So we're gonna see if we can squeeze by these cars and get her out of here. The camera says it'll fit. We'll see. Got her to squeeze. For you guys that started watching me once I started doing my Fox body stuff, we painted this whole car. It was hitting the front. So if you're a Terminator fan, like most Mustang guys, go back and watch those videos because some of them are pretty good. So this is one of my favorite cars, to be honest. I like how I can drive it anywhere. It's reliable, but still can mess around and win some races. Let's go check those out. We're building the motor for that. The Boss, fake Boss. And that thing is just an ornament I never touch. And then we'll be building this too. I got the title for it now. This is my first Fox, well, not first Fox, second Fox, first one I ever built. So a lot is in store if you're a Mustang guy. Also redoing the 72 eventually and the 82. And then after this one, we're finishing this one so I can go race and stop listening to people complain. So a lot is in store. So like, subscribe, share to your buddies, get this channel bigger so I can build more cool stuff like this. And let's get home. I'm tired. Nothing like a Terminator ride home after a long day. If you own one of these cars, you know the feeling. They just hit home. They're not like any other Mustang. Even my Shelby, I prefer my Terminator all day over that thing. So, pace car is coming slower than I thought. Parts, relying on people, etc. Project that big takes time. I hope you guys like the content so far. It's hard to know what to film and what not to film for some how-dos and stuff, but most of that stuff's pretty easy to do. It's just a carbureted car. It's not much going on, but if you guys want to see more how-tos, just let me know what, and we could probably do it on one of my cars. But the car's about done. After I showed you guys it start, I tried to start it again and it flooded itself out, so I think the regulator took a crap. So I'm gonna get a new regulator. I gotta get that small hose from the intake to the water pump for Indy 302, get that on there so I can fill with coolant. And then after all that stuff, it's pretty much done. The belt, I got the belt width to get one of them. So soon we will finally get to drive this thing. And I'm pretty dang excited. I'm probably gonna end up painting the whole car, but I'm gonna wait until the winter. I wanna drive it. I only have 2 months probably of nice weather left to enjoy the car. So, like I said, let me know what you guys want more of and what you want less of to watch, because I don't wanna bore you guys. And we'll go from there. Tomorrow we'll be getting the belt on right away in the morning. And then we'll see what happens. Alright guys, after that first fire up I should say, the car literally started on fire. Something back here, which doesn't make sense because I rewatched the video and there's no carb backfire and there's nothing electrical back here at all. So I don't know how it did it, but it started on fire back here and it was on the bell housing. So I didn't see any gas leaking anywhere and I didn't feel it after the fire, but I blew it out. I'll attach a clip right here, right after this scene. So you can see I ran pretty fast. But right now we're gonna swap that regulator for a new one just in case for some reason it went bad. I don't know. But he does have the feed into the return and the return, or the feed to the carb. He doesn't have a return anywhere, so I don't even know how he thinks the pressure's right. So I'm gonna hook it up right where you got a feed, and return with the return line working and see if it helps. I didn't even want to screw to see if it was getting overpressured after the fire. I'm just gonna switch everything. But yeah, it was kind of scary, but we got a battery. And if you have this body style, they say that your battery's way bigger than it needs to be. So go to Interstate and get this one. It literally fits perfect in there. It looks good too. It's not too big and it has a lot of cold cranking amps, 590 and 740 regular, which is plenty for this little motor. So it's starting to look good. I got a breather now. I got the power steering on, the belt's tight. So it's coming together and I'm about to try to fire it again. I'll have to take the belt off since I don't have a rack. But we're gonna get that on. Once we get that on, I'm either gonna go to my high school car and get the rack off, or I'm just gonna take the belt off and start it. But either way, it's still early. There's a Cars and Coffee tomorrow. So I think I'm gonna put the rack off my high school car on here no matter what, just so I can try to drive this there. It's one of the last things this year for car stuff around in my area. It's starting to get cold soon, so that's where we're at right now. I got to rewire the alternator because the wires are too short. So just a few little things to tidy it up and it'll be done. So I'm gonna get the regulator on now. Well, this project wouldn't be this project without issues. So got the rack in out of my high school car. It looks like crap. Threw the same exhaust on that we pulled off of it, which looks like crap. But like I said, I'm just trying to drive it again. This side's good. I had to cut this one off to get it through the rear end, so I got to weld that up. And then we had a leak here from the brakes. I think I fixed that one, and now we have another one. The line actually was broke, so we just cut it off right now. So Don's been helping me hang stuff and everything. So he ran to the parts store to get some line. We're gonna run it up and put a fitting in there. So fix that and then finish bleeding the brakes. And then hopefully after that, it'll be done. So we'll see if we make it. Finally, after all day, we got everything figured out, I think. Haven't drove it yet. Has a couple header leaks from throwing the exhaust on quick, but like I said, this isn't gonna be permanent. So we're just gonna let it out a little bit, warm up, and then fill it with coolant. And hopefully make it to the Cars and Coffee tomorrow. Well, I was gonna get it tomorrow morning for Cars and Coffee, but I figured we'd get it tonight. And me and the wife came, backed it out, has zero brakes, none at all. And there's no leaks, so I'm gonna re-bleed the system to see if there's air in there somehow. Because when we got done bleeding them the first time, the master cylinder was pretty dry. So we weren't checking it when we bled it, so I filled it. We're gonna bleed it again and see if that works. And if it does, then I'm gonna go, and if it doesn't, then I'm gonna leave it here. So we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, figured it out. When me and Don bled the brakes, the master cylinder ran out of fluid, and we bled them anyways. And then when I filled it up and I seen it when we were done, there was air in the system. So I filled it up thinking it'd be easy, and then this thing leaked. I redid it like 5 times. And every time I did it, it was just a little crooked. Barely, see that little crooked? So it wouldn't seal. You can see where that is. And then I over tightened it and screwed that up, the threads. Luckily I had another one of these because you can see the circle in there. I over tightened it because I was pretty mad. See that? So that leaked. So luckily I had an extra one of them. That one is oblong too. See it? Finally I got it. So I think we're done. We just bled them. They're pretty tight. Throw the wheels on. It's now 11:15 at night. So we'll see if I make the Cars and Coffee. All right, guys, it's the next day. We're about to leave for Cars and Coffee. First time I ever spray waxed this car. Turned out pretty good. Definitely probably gonna paint the car. I haven't washed it since I got it. There's a lot of like blemishes when you get really close. You can see kind of there's sand scratches and stuff. Might be able to wet sand them out, but I'd rather just respray it. But overall, it's pretty clean. It is what I paid for anyways. You guys can tell it looks really good. So we're about to leave. I just wanted to show you quick. There's the floor mats we did. They look good in there. We got to paint the steering wheel yet. It's pretty rusty. And then I got to spray and glue the carpet. But yeah, if I painted this car, it'd be near perfect. And we still got to get new exhaust. We're just rolling the old stuff for now, but there she is. It's turning out great. I have the block there because I didn't have time to put the e-brake cables. I don't trust the leaving it in gear on a slope. But there she is, boys. The finished product. Let's go see if we can turn some heads at the Cars and Coffee. pretty happy with it. Let me know what you guys think. Close the hood for you quick so you can see what the hood's shut. Hood's always open, it seems like. There's the hood shut. Pace car just looks so sweet. Then the sunroof doesn't fit right, and it hasn't since I got it. It's kind of higher in the front. I don't know what that's about, but we got to figure that out too. What do you guys think? Turned out awesome. Finally drivable again. So we're gonna get stainless exhaust ordered. I'm not sure if I'm gonna run tailpipes yet or just do the dumps behind the axle. And then I gotta figure out the brakes. They didn't leak or anything on the way home, but the brakes still are really spongy and just go to the floor. So I kind of think that the master soner's bad. So I gotta dig into that and then go from there. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Should I paint it or just throw the stickers on? Could just wet sand and buff it maybe. We'll see. Oh, we made it. It's another great turnout. Cars are everywhere. It took us like 10 minutes to find a spot. This is after I ate. Still busy. Nobody can even see the underneath of my car, and it's been getting a lot of attention, so it's a good feeling. Probably after we paint it, it'll get even more. But yeah, we're gonna do a little walkthrough and see what cars are here. A little bit of different stuff every week. And we got trucks now. Oh, I got some air ride over there. A lot of nice stuff. Volkswagens.
Straight up 11 o'clock today. So if you haven't got your ticket, that's just a few minutes away.
Nice Viper.
Over here.
Slammed. Forester. That's pretty nice. Let's look at this. That looks good. Chrome. Pretty sweet truck. Miatas. RC cars. Floor it. Not bad. Here's a few on the other side. Nice Mustangs over here. A lot of people are leaving already. I always show up a little late. I'm not much of a morning person on the weekends. Nice Firebird over there. Got a little bit of everything built, stock. That's a nice Camaro. Ooh, nice Evo. You don't see much clean Evos. Not driven anymore, that's for sure. This one is just wrapped. I think this is the one. I love how there's imports by muscle cars. You gotta look at everything. Go take a look at Logan's truck over here. He actually drove it here. Usually trailers it. Must be running good now. This little street truck. Nice Charger. I haven't seen one of these new Mustangs yet. They're definitely different. Usually when you say something's ugly and it's new, it kind of grows on you, but I don't know if that's ever going to grow on me. sounds somewhat built. Slicks all the way around. Guessing it's fast. A lot of rice burgers over here.
That's what we were getting.
Mustang. Nice Nova. Here's a Fox I haven't seen. Jeez. That's a squeeze. That's nice. Alright guys, we're gonna wrap the video up. It was a good time. Let me know what you think of her. A lot of time I put into this thing. Wasn't a huge event, but people seen it. Let me know what you think.
If they're done, Rob, bring it over.
Get on my head.